And go. Good. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our fabulous February event. We're going to be talking tonight about loving yourself. So this month, our theme has really been around sort of self-care, self-love. Lynn will be presenting tonight. I'm going to start off by giving you my normal spiel with a couple slides real quick, just to kind of let those of you who haven't been here before learn a little bit about us and also know kind of the rules for tonight's event. So hold on one second. Bop. Look at me, so fancy technology. So this is us. We are Kindred Beginnings. We're so glad that you could be here tonight to get the support that you need, and we're honored to be able to provide that to you all. A couple sort of ground rules. I'm not going to read these for you. You can read for yourself. The couple ones that I will highlight, I highlight every time: give and get grace. It's my new favorite thing that I say. And what that means is give yourself permission to fail and fear and feel, and allow other people to do the same. Remember that we are a safe space, so keep the conversations within this group. And then at the end of the event, you'll get a post-event survey that happens when you close out your Zoom screen. It only takes 2 to 3 minutes. If you wouldn't mind just taking that survey, it helps us to get information so that we can better design programming for you, programming in the future. So we would really appreciate it. This is us. I'll run this again at the end, but most of you know who we are and where to find us. Again, if you need anything at any time, you can reach out to both Lynn and I, and we are here for you. So that's my spiel. And tonight's guest speaker is our own Lynn Pullen, the founder of Kindred Beginnings. I think everybody here knows Lynn. She's an advocate, an educator, and a family building warrior. So she's going to talk to you tonight, like I said, about doing the most important thing, which is loving yourself. So with that, I'm turning it over to Lynn.
Thanks, Chris. And look at me sharing my screen all by myself.
Fancy.
I know. So impressive.
You're getting good at this one.
Woo woo. So thanks, ladies, for being here tonight. But this is not about me. This is about you. So thank you for taking the time to be here for yourselves tonight. And so, you know, I was going a little bit of February with Valentine's Day, and I've called this workshop Love Yourself, because it's time to take care of you. But really, that's what it's about. When we talk about our family building journeys, there's that trifecta. There's the mind, there's the body, and the spirit connection. And it does start with you. And so there is the medical component, but you have a responsibility to take care of yourself. And that's what we're going to talk about here tonight. So hopefully you were able to print out your action guides and some of the worksheets there. And we'll go through that also. And if you have your action guide, you know, one of the first things that if you're in a coaching session with me, or if you're in a community style workshop like this, the first thing we need to do is we need to grant ourselves permission. So what is it that you need for this next hour to get the benefit out of this? So if you printed out your action guide and it's in front of you, write it down. There's something to be said about writing it down. So where it says, I give myself permission to. And some suggestions could be, I give myself permission to be fully present. I give myself permission to turn off my cell phone. I give myself permission to just focus on this workshop. I give myself permission to turn off my screen if I need to. It's whatever it is for you. So on your action guide, if you've printed it out, please write it down. And if you didn't, that's okay. Just think about and consciously make yourself aware of what you give yourself permission to for this next hour or so. And then right after that, we always tap into gratitude, because yeah, when you're family building, there's a lot of things that are going wrong. If you're in life, there's a lot of things that are going wrong. And the permission of the and always, there are a lot of things that are going right. So what are some things that are going right for you? And it can be something so simple. I might have off tomorrow, or might be remote working tomorrow because there's going to be a big snowstorm here. I might be able to sleep in 10 minutes later tomorrow. I might be able to go out on a walk tomorrow. I might be able to drink hot tea tomorrow, whatever it is. And so name those things. Or it could just be, I'm so grateful that I'm just able to be here in the present moment, because being in the present is important too. And again, if you have your action guide in front of you, make sure you're writing these things down. So let's talk about the point of this workshop here tonight. So this workshop is actually one of the private sessions that I run, that I've developed, I created on my own. And some of the objectives and some of the things that I want you to get out of this is I want you to be able to define what stress is in concrete terms and identify the negative effects of chronic stress. We'll talk about what chronic stress is. We're going to name the 7 types of self-care to effectively manage stress, explore how your body, your personal body, responds to it, and then identify ways for you to cope effectively. And by the end of the session, you're going to have a daily, a weekly, and a monthly self-care plan specifically for you. And so that's what your takeaways are here tonight. So you're going to skip over where it says name the challenges that you encountered. That's for my private sessions where we kind of work through that part. And I want to talk about what stress is. So we're going to define it. What is stress defined? We all know what stress is. We've heard of it. This is not a new term to any of us. But stress defined means any type of change that causes physical, emotional, or psychological strain. And it's really just your body's innate response to anything that requires attention or action. And if we dig a little bit deeper, we need to know that stress is actually a natural part of our life. And that's okay. It's going to always be here. It's not going away. And there's good news. Our bodies are designed to handle it. The part that we get caught up on is that our bodies are not able to handle the chronic, constant stress. And when you are in this family building mode and in this family building journey, week after week, month after month, year after year, you can develop some serious chronic stress and have side effects like, and I've mentioned them here, headaches and migraines, chronic pain, muscle tension, respiratory symptoms, overproduction of cortisol, which is commonly called the stress hormone. You're more prone to sickness, you have depleted energy, and 4 asterisks here, imbalanced hormones. And we all know when you're family building, imbalanced hormones is not okay. And so that's why we're here. What can we do about it? And what you can do is take care of yourself first and foremost. And you've heard us say like this cliche saying, we hear it, you put on your own oxygen mask first. And yes, everybody rolls their eyes like, yes, I know, but it's just so important. You have to fill up your own cup. You have to put on your own oxygen mask first, because this stress will not just go away. It's going to be here. It's going to be in your face, and it's up to you to manage it. And that's what this workshop is about tonight. What are some applicable, reasonable ways for you to manage it for you? And that's what we're going to talk about. So there are 7 types of self-care. And they are, to name them, sensory, pleasury, mental and mastery, spiritual, emotional, physical, and social. And we're going to break each one of these down. And if you've printed out your acts of self-care resource sheet, they are all on there, and we're going to go through some of these. So if you have printed that out in front of you, put that in front of you. And as we go through some of these, I want you to star some of the ones that are like resonating with you. And by resonating, I mean you read it and you're like, yeah, I can totally do that. Or yeah, this makes my heart pitter patter. Yeah, I can connect to this, because this is not, you have to find what's going to work for you. Not everything is going to work for everybody, every person. So keep that in mind as we go through these. So to start, and this is on your original action guide, I want you to name your top 3 stressors. We are all stressed out. What are your top 3 stressors? And label them 1, 2, and 3. Your job, your family, the pandemic, your family building, life in general. What are they? Try to be as specific as possible. And when you're done naming them, I want you to think about where in your body do you actually feel the stress? Because what commonly happens is your body will react before you realize what's happening. So it can be common places are your head, your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, you clench your jaw. It could be your low back. I've had women tell me it's in their thighs, in your heart space. So on that outline of the body there, identify where is it that happens, like where is it that you feel it when you feel stressed? For me personally, it's my jaw. I clench my jaw. I always feel it in my heart space, and it's always in my neck and my shoulders. But everybody's going to be different. So what is it that happens for you? And this is called name it to tame it. Your body will most likely give you the indicator that you're stressed out before you realize what's happening. And the purpose of this exercise is so like when you're like, oh, wow, oh, my jaw's tight. Oh, wait, I must be stressed about something. Your body will give you the indicator to stop and reflect and do that mindful pause that we often talk about. I want to try to make this interactive. So would anybody like to share either their stressors and or where they feel it in their body? And this is just to help us connect to one another.
I can share.
Thanks, Amina Christine.
So what I put as the stressors or isolation and disconnection, which show up in a number of different ways, especially now, grief and loss, particularly around a miscarriage and relationship loss, and the family building process. And then where I feel the stress, usually my head, neck, shoulders, jaw, and chest.
All upper body.
Right.
Yeah. And that's something to be so mindful of. Like when we're aware of that, when we're feeling that tension up there, then we stop and pause. Wait, something else is going on. Let's dig deeper, right? And it's so noble of you to be able to recognize that. Thank you, Amina Christine, for sharing.
And then the other thing, which is, I don't know if it's a place
Yeah.
necessarily, but I tend to get really tired.
Yeah. Why do you think that happens?
Because my body's working overtime to deal with the stress.
Yeah. Thanks, Amina Christine.
I'll share. So don't laugh at me, Lynn. So Lynn knows very well that I feel it primarily in my jaw. And after having a session with Lynn where we went over this, I told my husband that because he saw my little body and he's like, oh, look, you have a beard. And I'll spare you what I said to him, but yeah, so I told him that's where I like clenched my jaw. So now I notice it sooner than I did before, but he also notices it. The other day we were talking and he was like, what's going on? I can see you clenching your jaw. And he noticed it before I even did, which I thought I was giving him kudos and props for noticing, but I didn't realize, like, I never realized how obvious it was, even just me noticing it now, how much I clenched my jaw, because it's not just like minor, it's like I'm gonna kill somebody clenching. So, and my chest. I had a hairy chest. That's also what he said. So yeah. I don't know.
I love Mike.
Don't we all?
Thank you for sharing, Heather. I think it's really interesting though what you say. Like you're like, I identified it and I shared it with him, but then he noticed it before I did. And that's something like really important to maybe note. Like sometimes like we might be able to say like here in this session, like, yeah, I notice it. But then when it actually happens, you're like, wow, I actually don't notice it. And it's just about being more mindful, right? Just paying closer attention. And if somebody else realizes it and is holding you accountable, the best thing to say, Heather, take a breath. The best thing to say is going to be, unmute yourself. Okay, Heather, you've been in session with me for
I know. But
almost 90 days.
I feel like a lot of pressure right now.
I know.
What am I supposed to say?
What are you supposed to say? He recognizes it and you're just going to say simply, don't
Thank
overthink
you.
it. Thank you.
Yes, and I did. And I literally like said thank you to him because like it's like when I'm by myself and I'm clenching my jaw, I notice it and then then I'll be like, okay, wait a minute. Like what's going on? Let's figure it out. But when he noticed it and I didn't, I literally stopped dead in my tracks and I was like, and I did thank him for pointing that out. I do thank Michael for everything he does for me.
I know you do.
Yes.
But it's so interesting and it's so normal too. Let's just validate that sometimes you're just not aware. And when you realize you are not aware and then you realize that you are aware, let's just celebrate that success too, because we're not going to always realize that we were just so aware, right?
Yeah. And I appreciated that he noticed it just simply because he noticed it, and I didn't. And that shows that he's paying that much more attention, that he's watching my jaw clench as I'm feeling it internally and not externalizing what I'm feeling. So
Thanks. And way to go, Mike. You know, I'm always in your corner. All right. So probably a lot of you are feeling it in the same places. And thank you, Amina, Christina, and Heather for sharing it. And the reason that I offer that up to you is because I just don't want anyone to feel alone here. Like this is not some isolating thing that only you are feeling or only you are experiencing. This is part of the process. And that's why we're here. So let's talk about what to do about it. So let's talk about, there were the 7 types of self-care. Let's talk about and break down each one. If you have printed out the acts of self-care, please put this in front of you. And as we go through them, if there's something that resonates with you, star it, underline it, highlight it, whatever it is that you want to do. Whatever is going to make your heart pitter patter, and you will know it's just going to resonate and feel right. So sensory self-care means calming your mind and really grounding into the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touch that surround you. It's a grounding activity that will bring you back to the present. And so what are some things you can do? Personally for me, I do my best to go out on a walk every single morning. Sometimes that walk is 10 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. It just depends on time and weather and other things. A simple thing that you can do is just ground into, find 5 things that are red or blue or green or yellow or whatever color. Or do a simple 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, which is the one that I normally do. You tap into 5 things in the moment that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can feel as like touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And that simple activity, like 1 minute or less, is a grounding activity that will just bring you into the present moment. So I'm going to stop there just for a second, and I want everyone to look around themselves, and I want you to find 1 yellow thing, and Heather, I chose yellow for you. You're welcome. Find one yellow thing, and then I want you to identify 2 sounds around you. And yes, there are 2 sounds around you, and I chose that on purpose. And you, just by doing those 2 things, you have come into the present. It's as simple as that. So when we talk about sensory, it can be doing just that. It can be breathing exercises, and there's tons of breathing exercises out there. Like if you're talking, you know, quote kid-friendly language, it could be like a snake breath. It could be a lion's breath. In yoga, it could be a 4-7-8 breath. It could be a square breath. It could be a figure 8 breath. There are all these different breathing techniques. It could just be a simple big breath in, hold it at the top. Exhale always longer than the inhale. Exhale out. It's whatever is going to resonate with you. Just getting outside is sensory self-care. Nature. Yes, in the snow tomorrow for those of you that are here on the East Coast. Using a warmer weighted blanket. If you can't get outside, just putting yourself outside by like putting it on your computer or listening to like water sounds or some kind of like ocean sounds or relaxing sounds, that counts too. This next one I really love, taking a warm shower or bath. I read something and I posted it in the KB membership recently about taking a shower with your eyes closed. That's pretty incredible. I tried that. I had a little bit of learning to do with that. But there's something to be said for that. Like normally when you're in the shower, your mind is just like, or at least what I found is like your mind is racing. Like, oh my goodness, I have all these things to finish up tonight. And then I have all these things that are on my to-do list tomorrow. But when I closed my eyes, I couldn't think about that. It was only like, wait a second, I have to focus on what's happening in here. And that was the point of the exercise. So I would challenge you to maybe like think about trying that out. It was an interesting experience for me. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like it. It was a hard moment for me because I was just like, I have too much going on in my mind, and shower time is not a peaceful time in my house. But it was an interesting experiment for me. But try it out, see how it works for you. Self-massaging, cuddling with a pet, stuffed animal, a loved one, lighting a candle. It can be as simple as that. Walking barefoot in the grass when it's nicer weather out, not right now, but looking at the clouds, the stars, the sun. Today I was on a walk and I was just observing like the clear sky before the storms rolled in. Listening to music, lying in the sun, sitting on the ground, moving your hands through the water or the sand or the grass. So think about which ones of those resonate for you. Those are all kinds of sensory self-care. And you just need kind of something external to bring you back inside. There's also type 2 is pleasury self-care. Engaging in activity that's somehow pleasurable to you, which could be gardening or touring your town or city, making a dinner date with yourself or your partner. And I realize that we're on a pandemic. It doesn't need to be something so extravagant. It can be something so simple in your dining room or your kitchen with a candle and just take out, right? Taking care of yourself by just watching your favorite movie or television show or series or just trash TV sometimes, that's okay. For me, it's going to be, Chrissy's going to laugh. I know she's off camera, but it's Dr. Phil.
I'm laughing.
I know you are. It's the second time. We were on a call earlier, like we were on like a really professional call. And I was like, I'm going to talk about like Dr. Phil for a second. And the guy that we're talking to was like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, Dr. Phil, I love him. And Drew was on the call and he's like, oh gosh, please don't talk about Dr. Phil. And Chrissy was like, oh my gosh, please don't talk about Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, listen, I love him. It's okay. Watch your favorite movie or television show. It could be Dr. Phil or something else. Do a craft or project, make some kind of art, color, draw, journal, go for a mindful walk. Just do something that is going to make you feel good. If photography is your thing, do that. Simple thing, buy yourself fresh flowers, put it on a vase, put it on your table, and eat dinner next to it. Just these small, simple things are so meaningful. The next type of self-care is mental and mastery. Engaging in something that's challenging to your mind. We need to keep our mind active. You need to keep engaged. So this could be clearing the clutter. And if you're in like some of the programs with me, like you've heard about me talking about clearing the clutter, this does not need to be a huge, like I'm a hoarder, I need to clean everything out. It can be something so small, like I'm just going to clean out this one space or this one shelf or this one drawer. That is a task of mental and mastery self-care. Maybe learn a new language, drive someplace new, or if you drive the same place to and from every day, try a new route there or home. Do some kind of word puzzle, crossword puzzle, play a math game, a word game, read a genre of book you wouldn't normally choose. Just give it a chance. Try a new activity. Change a small daily habit and do the opposite of what you would normally do. Or try a gratitude meditation, and I've linked one of my favorites there for you. Challenging your mind, keeping your mind on edge is an incredible form of self-care. And I want you to notice, like we've been through 3 of these. These are not things that cost money. It's just being creative and maybe taking a little bit of time to think about it. I want to stop here just for a second before I move on to the next one. What are some takeaways that some of you are thinking, or what are some thoughts that some of you are having right now?
I think I'll chime in. The one that I love the most is the mental mastery of self-care one, because I think we don't think about stress like this, but stress is actually an activity that's happening inside your brain, whether or not it's conscious or subconscious, right? You are actually performing a mental task when you are stressed. And so engaging in another mental task that is self-care is sort of doing 2 things for you, right? It's getting you out of that stressful mindset, but at the same time, it's allowing you to take care of yourself, thus helping you let stress less later. So I like it because it's kind of like it's like a twofer. So I enjoy that one a lot.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, Chrissy, I gotta piggyback on that because I feel that way about just like simple morning walks, like 5 a.m. walks and catching the sunrise, as cliche as that sounds. It's a fresh start, it's a new day. And just being able to like just let my mind go and take on, what awaits, but also sort of deal with what's going on in my head. But I feel like after every single walk every morning, I'm like, oh, I'm so much more ready for the day versus the days that I don't actually get up and walk.
Bill, I'm so glad you brought that up because this is something that we talk about often. And Heather, I'm not putting you on the spot, but a common thing that we say is, you said start a new day, but a common phrase that we use is it could just be begin again. It doesn't need to start with a sunrise. It can just be, it's 9 o'clock at night and right now I'm going to begin again. But when we walk out and we see the sunrise, if we just take like a hot minute just to sit back and look at it, and we're just like, I got a crap of a day coming up. But right now is a beautiful moment. Don't miss out on that moment. And the common phrase is just begin again now, enjoy now, be present now. I love that.
No, I absolutely love that because that's so true, because it could be 3 p.m. and you're like, ugh. But you know what? I can begin again. I like that. I got to start utilizing that. Thank you. That's awesome.
For sure. I mean, I will confess, I totally did that last night. Lynn knows I've had a
she had a rough week.
I've had a crap of a week. It's the nicest way I can say it. I'm putting in, about 60 to 70 hours a week right now at work, and it's very stressful. And I came home and was in a terrible mood. And I was like, okay, I know what I need to do. I need to go work out and sweat and dance like a fool, because if I don't right now, it's not going to end well. And I walked into class, and thank gosh, my teacher recognized it in me too. And I was able to like put the stress down leave it and let myself do something else. And sometimes I think that's a very, very powerful part of, Bobby Lou, like what you said of starting over. Sometimes getting out of that stressful place is giving yourself the permission to just let it go. Sometimes the stress is not worth you carrying it. And that's a choice, right? That's an active choice that you have the power to make. It's a hard thing to learn, but it's great once you start to practice it.
I just want to respond real quick to Lynn and pretty much Chrissy. So I put that on my vision board because I needed it, one, and now I will stop.
And
throughout
Lynn
the
made,
day.
and Lynn made me.
Yeah, well, I was trying to be nice. So like I will be, you know how things just like add up, like they just keep going wrong, like it's one thing after another, like, and I'm like ready to, lose my mind. And I will literally just stop and say, okay, we're gonna breathe and we're gonna begin again. And my husband probably thinks I'm nuts, but it works for me, so it works for him. So I will literally like stop and take a deep breath in and say, okay, we're gonna start over. Like what's in the past is in the past and we're starting fresh right now. I don't have to wait until tomorrow morning. I don't have to wait until, I don't know, 3 hours from now. So it doesn't always work, but sometimes it's pretty helpful. So
And
Heather,
you're
I don't,
trying, and that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing, right? You're trying.
Heather, I don't know if you remember, like you were on that vision board event, but on my vision board, I have the term "let's start fresh" on there. And that's what it was speaking to. And it doesn't need to be so often we're like, oh, it's Friday, I'll just wait until Monday, or oh, it's late in the day, I'll just wait until tomorrow morning. Like it doesn't need to be that way. It could just be like, no, let me just take a breath and just begin again now. And it's not always starting over. It's not always like I'm going to start again. It can just be I'm beginning again now. Starting over sometimes gives you the feeling that you did something wrong or like that it didn't end well. If you just say, if you reframe it a little bit to I'm just going to begin again now, it's just like I'm hitting the refresh.
no, I completely agree with you. And that for me, better than anyone, I have a lot of negative self-talk. So if, simple changes in words can make a huge difference for me. So if I say start again, then I'm thinking, like you just said, well, everything I just did was a waste. And then I beat myself up. But if I just say, I'm just going to begin again, it's just, like you said, the refresh button and we're starting anew. And that's that. There's no need to like linger or dwell or anything. So yes. Thanks.
Thanks, Heather.
So I have it's not really a question, it's more of a aha.
Oh, good. We didn't get to that, but go. Love that.
So for a while now, I have decided that what I wear really sets my like mood for the day. And so I have acquired quite the vibrant wardrobe with like colorful leggings, and I'll put together different combinations with like a shirt under a t-shirt and a skirt and like different patterns.
Yeah, I saw your outfit in your dance moves the other day. It was pretty phenomenal, if I do say so.
And that was an example. And I have like different like fun boots that I wear, and part of it is it works out well that I'm a primary school principal, but actually I dressed that way before I worked at a primary school, but people don't know that. So it's occurring to me because I've typically only seen in self-care like physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, that perhaps it's a sensory self-care thing that I do for myself, because when I wake up I have a totally different day if I wear like fun clothes as opposed to like jeans and a sweatshirt, and people will actually notice if I show up in like khakis and a sweater. People will be like, what's going on here, and so it's for me, but it also attracts a different energy from other people.
It's a huge aha, I mean, Christine, right?
Yeah, because I've always seen it as like a thing that I do, but I never put it as like a self-care thing.
And yeah, self-care, so oftentimes people, when we talk about self-care, they're like, oh, a massage, a manicure, a pedicure, a spa day, sleep in day. This is not what it's about. It's about small things that just make you feel better about yourself and your day. So if you want to dress in brightly colored leggings and put on vibrant clothes, and that's going to make you feel good about your day and other people are going to notice, go for it. When I was teaching, and Bobby Lynn will attest to this, I had this one vibrant blue shirt that I wore, and I didn't wear it often because every time I wore it, people would come up to me and they'd be like, I love that color on you. And I was like, I feel like I can't wear this because they'll be like, you just wore that last week. So I like wouldn't wear it as often, but every time I wore it, like people would come up and be like, I just love that color on you. And there is something to be said for that. When people do notice that, like it makes you feel good too, right? Like, I mean, Christine, to your point, like when people notice that, it makes you feel good. And then you feel good. And it's just like this whole reciprocal energy that you're giving to one another, right? And so lean into that. Whatever that small act of self-care is. All right. So I stopped there on purpose because the next one is about spiritual self-care. And this one, you take this as this resonates with you or not. Spiritual self-care can be in terms of religion, universe, creation, whatever it is that you believe in. It really just comes down to tapping into your core values and what truly matters to you. So what can you do to tap into this? You can engage in religious ceremonies if those resonate with you. You can meditate, you can pray, you can read or write poetry, you can compile inspiring quotes. I know there was a really tough time in my life where I was just going through, I bought a journal and was just going through quotes and finding ones that resonated with me and just wrote them down in different colored markers and in kind of like different fonts and just compiled them, just collected them. You can journal, light a candle again, get into nature. Getting into nature is so healing for the body and the mind. You can start a gratitude journal or end a day with talking about gratituding. And if you tend to do that, some people like to journal. For me, I found that to be one more thing that my ego needed to do, like my brain needed to do. So that doesn't work for me, like an actual journal, because I was like, that's one more thing on my to-do list. If it becomes one more thing on your to-do list, it's not resonating with you. So you're just gonna not do it. We're not trying to add things to your to-do list. We're trying to make this better for you. So if it's gonna be like, oh, I need to write my gratitude journal, then you don't do it. But if it's I'm pairing it with something like I'm brushing my teeth and I'm thinking about things that I'm grateful for, and that's easy for me and I like doing it, then that's what you do. So you find something that's going to resonate with you in that way when it comes to gratituding, and that's just a made up word, but gratituding. Creating a vision board, and a lot of you were at the vision board event that we ran last month, and it doesn't need to be in January. We just run that in January because it seems like the new year. You can run a vision board whenever it is that you want, and there might be a time where your needs and your feelings and your priorities shift and that you need to recreate your vision board. So if in 6 months from now you need a new one, and that's what you do. If you haven't done one, you're like, yeah, I'm interested in that, then you begin again now, and then that's what you do over the weekend, right? Reading taps into your spiritual self-care. So think about what it is that is just going to lift your spirit. And all of you on the call, I know I love Adrienne Mishler, who does yoga with Adrienne, and she oftentimes says, think of your breath as your spirit. And so when you think about spiritual self-care and your breath, what is it that's going to lift you up? And that's what she means by that. So if any of those resonated with you, again, put an asterisk or a star there and just think about how is this going to make your life a little easier, a little better. The next type of self-care is emotional self-care. And this one is just giving yourself the time and space to sit with the emotions. There are no good or bad feelings. They're just feelings. Just find the space and the time to sit with them and work with them instead of avoiding them. And so oftentimes it's so much easier to avoid. But what can you do to sit with them? You can meditate, and I've linked a wonderful, this is also a Yoga with Adrienne meditation for self-love. It's my favorite one. I actually did it this week. I use this one whenever I kind of feel a little bit lost. But I've linked a meditation for self-love there, but you can Google these. And I know I always say to you all, don't Google. It's okay to Google like a meditation, but you can do a meditation. You can write or journal if that resonates. Just crying. That's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to release. Laughing. Same thing. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to release. Letting out the frustration in a healthy way, screaming, punching a pillow. Practicing self-compassion or a loving yoga practice, and I've linked some there. When I talk about self-compassion, and I want to talk about that for a second, we're going to come across hard moments, especially in this family building, where things are like not going to go according to plan. And so when those things don't go according to plan, literally, you put your hands over your heart and you say, oh my gosh, did I make the right decision? I don't know if I did or I didn't. You know what? At the time, I made the best decision that I could with the information that I have. And this is how it turned out. And it's okay. I am okay. I am going through a hard time. I am going through a hard moment. And I am okay. And it doesn't need to be about family building. It can be about anything. But it's just this act of self-love and self-care and self-compassion. I am okay. I am enough. I've had a hard moment. I've had a hard day. I've had a hard week. And it's okay. I am okay. I am safe. And just coming back to that emotional self-care. What are some other affirmations that you say to yourself? Like I oftentimes say, this was a hard moment. I'm okay. I am safe. What else do you ladies say to yourself that maybe we can piggyback off of?
I usually find myself telling myself that I'm strong enough. I can do it.
One of my favorites of late is take the next step.
Just take the next step. What's the next thing? Kind of reminds me of Frozen 2, where she's like, just what's the next best thing? Yeah. Anyone else?
Sorry, Lynn, I had to step away. What
was the
I'm sorry.
question?
Yeah, teacher.
My question was, when you come into that emotional hard place where things are just hard and well, Heather, I know what you're going to say, but like you put your hands over your heart and just like, oh, this is a hard moment. What are some affirmations that you say to yourself to get you through those moments? For me, it's, I am okay. This is a hard moment. You're doing the best that you can. You are enough. What are some of the things that you say to yourself?
I'm doing the best that I can.
Doing the best that I can is one of my favorites. Yep. And you all are. And again, I want to remind all of you, especially those of you that haven't worked with me, we cannot be angry at our past selves. Our past selves did the best that she could. Our past selves were not trying to make bad decisions. Our past selves made the best decisions that they could with the information that she was given. So to hold on to the shouldas, the wouldas, the couldas is not serving us. At the time, it was the best decision. We will never intentionally make a poor decision for ourselves. And if later we're like, that was a bad decision, that is where you have to offer yourself the utmost of compassion and grace, because that was never the intention. It was never to make it harder for yourself later. So just keep that in mind when we come across these hard moments, and we oftentimes do. And a lot of it comes in the form of, should I do this treatment or this? Should I do a fresh or a frozen transfer? Should I do an IUI or an IVF? Should I convert an IVF to an IUI? It comes in forms of all these ways. Offer yourself the utmost compassion and grace. You are doing the best that you can. Thank you all for sharing. So something a little bit more tangible is physical self-care. And really, like you all know, I'm going to say, it just comes down to moving your body every day. Like, and on those hard days where you just like can't do anything, there are the basics. You drink your water, you get enough sleep, you move your body every day. Like those are like the 3 necessities that you need to do. So when you move your body, you release the cortisol, and cortisol is that stress hormone that we were talking about earlier. It will help to relieve your mind of those negative thoughts. Sleep also does this. When you have good, adequate sleep, your body is rejuvenating itself. It's working through some of these hard issues that you've experienced during the day. It's working through some of that emotional stuff while you're in sleep. And so it's really important to get off of your phones and scrolling. Heather, I'm calling you out only because you sent me that article on the mindless numbing, right? We all do it though, right? It's not serving you any good. Get off of your phones. Get off of like Netflix, get off of technology, get your phones, get all of it placed someplace else. Get adequate sleep. Go to bed early. Your body will thank you in the morning. So what are some other things you can do physically? Yoga. You know, I'm a big proponent of yoga. Walking, running. I'm not a proponent of running. Chrissy is. I walk. Dancing, stretching, going for a bike ride, napping if you need to. That's okay. And making sleep a priority. Get enough sleep. Social self-care. This is so hard right now because this is just connecting with others because our brains are wired to do so, our bodies are wired to do so, and now we're doing it via technology. So in a utopian society, what can we do? Go on a lunch date with a friend. If it's a Zoom day right now, then that's what it is, right? But just connect. You can call, email, text a friend. I have on my to-do list every day to text at least 5 people. It's just something that I do. Sometimes they're the same people as the day before because I know they're going through something hard, and sometimes they're different people. But just making that connection is meaningful, not just for the person that I'm connecting to, but for me as well. Joining a book club, and they're virtual now. You can join a support group, and if you're here, then you're most likely part of one. You can just volunteer your time to a passion and a cause that you care about. That's making that social connection and doing something for you. What are some social acts of self-care that you all have? What are some things that you do for yourself?
So one COVID safe thing that I've been doing is going to the farmer's market. So we do it outside. Everybody is like 20 feet apart. We're all in masks, but it's really nice to like go and like talk to the farmers and see how their chickens are doing. And like, it just feels like your world is a little bit less small. So
Thanks,
I really enjoy
Diana.
that.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. So now is the hard part. Now it's time for you to hold yourself accountable. So we talked a lot about the different kinds of self-care, but now it's time to talk about what can you do daily, weekly, and monthly for your self-care. So start with daily. What's one thing, reasonable, attainable goal that you can do every single day to take care of you? I like that smile. It
You're
could
laughing at me.
be, yes, no, not laughing, smiling. I'm proud of you. It could be something simple, which sounds simple, it's not. It could be, I'm just going to let myself feel what I feel and just sit with those feelings for 5 minutes. And that's not simple. but it could be something like that. It doesn't need to be some big thing. But create an action step, and this is on your action guide if you printed it out. Create an action step around your daily self-care. What is it going to be? You're going to move your body for 10 minutes every day in a walk. You're going to make sure you go to sleep 20 minutes earlier than you normally do. You're going to make sure that you meditate for 5 minutes every day. You are going to join a book club and read for 5 minutes or 10 minutes every single night. What is it daily that you're going to do to better yourself? Make sure that it's reasonable and attainable, not something that's like this woo-woo-y thing that I really wish I could do, because then you're going to feel like a failure. We don't want that. Something that's reasonable and attainable for you right here, right now. And then think about the same thing as a realistic, reasonable, attainable weekly goal. What's something that you could commit to weekly for yourself? And weekly could be, I'll get out on a 20-minute walk weekly. I will take a bath, 1 bath weekly. I will read a chapter in a book. I will color 1 page in a coloring book. I'll do 1 journal entry. Something reasonable, realistic, attainable weekly. And when you're done weekly, move on to monthly. And monthly should be something that you're like, I know I'm not going to get to often, but I can make it a point to hold myself accountable to do this once a month, once every 30-ish days. For me, it's watching a television show because I don't watch much TV. Would anyone like to share any of them? It could be the daily or the weekly or the monthly. And sometimes, not sometimes, always when you say it out loud, it means something a little bit more because now you're putting it out into the world and the universe and you're more likely to achieve it. So I would encourage you to share if you're willing. And it could be a daily, a weekly, or a monthly.
So Lynn, I feel like you were already with me because before February started, I created a list of goals, and I kid you not, it's divided up daily, weekly, and monthly.
That's the educators in us, me and Christine.
Right. So a couple other things that I've been working on. So every day I connect with a friend either by text or calling or sending a message through Facebook. And one of my monthly goals is to try at least one new yoga or dance class.
Oh, that's so brave. I don't know that I can do that every month.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, last night I tried my first virtual burlesque class.
How'd it go?
It was interesting. The hardest part actually, which I did not anticipate at all, is doing a virtual dance class is really hard because you're seeing the mirror image of the person.
Oh, that makes sense.
So when they're saying start with your right, it's on the left.
They're left. Yeah.
So yeah, but it was good. Got me out of my comfort zone and got me moving. So it was good. Tomorrow is Zumba.
Good for you.
Wait. That's not monthly. That's twice in 1 week.
Well, because
That's back
this
to back
is school
days.
vacation week. So I said I'm gonna
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say school vacation week?
yeah.
Could you elaborate on that?
What does that mean?
So in New England,
Oh gosh, she's
because-
in Vermont,
because
Bobby Lynn,
of the
just so you know.
winter, we have a week of vacation in February and a week of vacation in April.
That
Because of the
sounds
40
like-
inches of snow that you have?
Correct.
Mm.
Because it breaks up the winter. Because we can't wait till March.
Yeah. Well, I think that's nationwide. The whole March. Way too long.
Nobody
that
likes
whole
March.
month.
March
Yeah.
is the longest month of the year.
Yeah. No, I applaud you though. Back to back. That was your monthly goal. And you just did that weekly, daily, really. You had one sleep in between.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Two, really, if you count, the burlesque and then
Yes.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, it's super brave. Yeah, no, I applaud that.
I second that. Burlesque, that's pretty ballsy. So good for you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you have to have rhythm for that. So you go, girl.
Well, full disclosure, before COVID, I had cast a role in Cabaret, the musical, as one of the dancers. So
Wow.
it's the first time I had ever auditioned for a musical in my whole life, because I've been a dancer my whole life, but I've never done singing and I've never done musical performance. And so we trained and we rehearsed, and the show got canceled the night before dress rehearsal.
Oh,
Yeah, that was pretty bummer. But in the
As a
process,
fellow theater nerd, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I learned
That is so
Agreed.
sad.
I learned a lot about myself, and I actually went through my miscarriage at the same time that I was rehearsing. So it was like a really
Whew.
transformative process for me. So to do the burlesque was, kind of bringing a whole lot of things together for me. So it was really monumental.
yeah, I'm sure, to say the least. Yeah. Wow.
Good
Yeah, I
for you
can
for diving back
tot-
in, though. Good for you. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
I was gonna
totally
say, yeah,
picture you
adding
doing
all
like
that in.
burlesque and then Zumba the next
the
night.
A lot of bravery there.
You could do it.
Are you talking
So
to
in
me?
full disclosure to all of you, BL and another friend of ours, the three of us would go down to Atlantic City every year for New Jersey Teacher Convention.
Yeah. Does Vermont do that kind of thing?
No.
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm
Yeah.
a principal now, so I probably wouldn't get invited.
No, well, but yeah, like it was just, school was just closed. So we went down for New Jersey Teacher Convention, and when we went, we would have dinner, and the DJ, it was the three of us on the dance floor, and the DJ quickly picked up on that it was a pattern of New Kids on the Block music for me, it was rap for Bobby Lynn, and it was like Latina Spanish dance
Oh,
music
yes.
for our friend. And he would keep going in a pattern, and like one of us would be like, yeah, and dance and come out, and the other ones would be like, and then the next one would be like, yeah. It was so funny. But like it's just like to each their own, right? Like it was just so, but yeah, come
Such in
on.
our element. Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, no, that was like we were living our best life, and we were the only people on the dance floor. There was like elderly
The
couples
only
like
people
dining.
on the dance floor, there were 3 of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were having the time of our lives. Yep.
That's awesome. So you got to recreate it in your kitchen now.
Yeah.
Oh. Whew.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Lynn does that on daily. New
Dance
Kids on the Block. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, it's good, you know.
She didn't say no. She's not denying it.
No,
No.
I'm not denying it. No. New kid,
Just think
NKOTB.
about adding a new goal.
But no, I mean, like that would be my monthly goal. Like I never really thought about it, but that would be my monthly goal.
New Kids or burlesque?
No, I don't know that I could do. The burlesque is a little.
Yeah.
Mm.
Burlesque, I mean, whew, isn't that like Moulin Rouge kind of stuff?
Yeah. I got to
Wow, girl.
buy some gloves because I didn't have any to do my little like take the glove off routine that I started learning.
Oh, like super sexy. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
So all about it.
Oh, Bobby Lynn, I can totally see you doing this. This is so great. All
Mm.
right, this is gonna be our monthly goal. We're gonna do it.
We need to
All
know
right.
how this goes.
Chris, do you know a burlesque dance teacher?
I actually do, yes.
I
I know a few. I'm glad to share it
I
with the,
figured
I'm
you
glad to
would.
share them with the group.
Yeah, this would
Yeah,
be
I know a few. Yep.
This is our next KB event. Our next KB event.
I'd be glad to set it up. I'd be glad to set it up. That would be fun.
I was
Like-
gonna say my teacher Patty Cake, I'm sure would be happy to do a virtual class.
Stop it. Patty cake.
That's her burlesque name.
Oh my god.
Wait, that's a thing? You have what's yours?
I don't have one. I gotta figure
Yet.
it out.
This should be your
Yes,
monthly goal.
yeah,
Your monthly goal.
that's-
Amina, Christine, you need to come up with your burlesque name.
Yeah, well, especially because I might join the Saturday class this coming Saturday. So I gotta-
Well, hell, you only got a couple more sleeps to figure this out.
I know.
No pressure, but now it's a new daily goal. Here we go.
Hey, you got like 2 days. If you're starting Saturday, you better make it a priority.
Yeah.
I'm not
so-
going to throw Bobby Lynn under the bus. She's so good about coming up with names for things.
Forget Zumba on Saturday.
She came up with the name for my documentary. Like that was all her.
No,
She's
Zoom
so good at this. No
Okay.
pressure, but you need to come up with burlesque names for all of us now.
That's
Well,
right.
I need to know, like, is it like the whole stripper name, like your street that you were born on, like that kind of thing?
I don't
Or is
know.
it just like your inner personality?
I think it's more of my like alter ego.
Yeah. That's what I'm kind of picking up. Oh, I'm on this. I got this.
I will put she's gonna text me tonight. I know she's gonna text me at like midnight when I'm asleep. And she's like, I totally came up with the perfect name for you. And I will post it all for you so you all know what she's come up with for me.
I'll be completely honest. My sleep hygiene is on point.
She
Ooh,
Yeah?
really
Oh
good.
yeah. Like this is way past my bedtime right
Yeah,
now.
I'm normally in bed
so-
at 8:30. It's 9:11.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. This is insane.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna have a snow day tomorrow though.
You
Or
down
work-
with KB? Yeah, you know me. Okay,
see?
I'm gonna mute. Carry on.
Please do. All right. Thank you. Sorry, we got off tangent here, but this was great. Daily, weekly, monthly. It doesn't need to be a burlesque class. I feel like nobody's going to talk now. Like the bar was just set so high.
Sorry about that.
Oh no,
No,
I
it's
mean
so
I'll
great.
be really super mundane and just say that my monthly goal is to disconnect from technology and kind of go off the grid once a month.
Well, that's so lame.
I know. I was gonna create an action step to just go off the grid, but maybe I'll take my burlesque self off the grid. Take myself out on a date.
That's
Voulez-vous coucher?
get a boa.
Ooh, and like one of those like things. smoke things, cigarettes.
There you go.
Ugh.
So for me, my new daily goal that I've been doing this week is I'm shutting my work phone off at 7 o'clock.
Ooh.
I'm not letting
No,
those
you're
people-
not.
Oh, yes, I am.
Do it,
Yes,
Chris.
I am.
Boundaries.
Yes, I definitely have been. I've been, my business phone is off at 7. It'll be back on tomorrow morning at 5 as I'm waiting for the snow phone call. So I have to like contact 900 and something patients, but it's off at least at 7 o'clock.
Chrissy, you're organizing the vaccination stuff for Rowan, right? That's why you're so,
I sure am.
oh gosh,
Yeah.
that's why you have to call those patients.
That's why. Yep. No, but it's okay. It's good. It's good work. It's great work.
I know, but
Um,
you're burning out. Look, we're
Well, she was
yeah.
like, please tell me there's not another snow. Like if the snow is just like, she's like, please tell me this is not happening.
I'd rather be there in the snow for for real, but we'll
Yeah.
handle it. We got a good team. We got backup.
good. Yeah, it's intense. I think we've definitely only started to figure this out, and there's a lot more people to go. So hang in there.
Yeah, she's
Thank
doing
you.
great work.
I will. Thank you.
That's a good goal for you, Chris. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Thanks. Me too. It's helping keeping me a little bit more sane, right? At least helping me stop from doing the thing where even if I put my phone in another room, I hear it pinging. So then I'm like, ooh, oh, that little Pavlov's dog in me. Oh, phone, I heard the bing, go get the thing that made the bing, right? So now
Yeah,
I don't hear it.
That's interesting that you say that. So mine is when I'm on my walk, my phone goes off. So a lot of times when a lot of you, especially on this call, when you text me and you don't hear from me for an hour, it's because I'm on my walk. And so I don't look until I get back. And that's just a self-care move for me.
Yeah, my phone doesn't make any sound or vibration with text messages because I can't handle it. It's too much for me. So
Yeah.
the next time I look at my phone, then I'm like, oh, I got a message.
That's such a simple self-care move. Like turn off all your notifications. Like when you're ready to check them, you'll go and check them. Like, but we are like kind of trained like Pavlov's, like we hear the ding, we have to go, we have to check it, right? Like there's no need for that. Just when you're ready to check it, you'll check it.
As my dad says, it works great as a phone. Right? It's a phone. For those of us who grew up when there were still phones, this thing in our hand is a phone. Yes, it's a computer, but we did at some point have the capacity to not answer these things, right? It's retraining ourselves to do it.
That's something else I do. I try very much not to check my email or any social media. Well, not that I have much social media. Chrissy runs my social media on my phone. I have to be sitting in front of my computer because then like I have to be home and in front of my computer. I make an effort to come in front of my computer. And Chrissy really does run my social media, a lot of it.
Chrissy, you do a great job.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks. I appreciate you.
Hell yeah, I'm always liking your stuff.
Thanks. Like away. Please do.
Yeah, I heard the Instagram's going really well. The gram, is that what we call
Actually,
it now?
the gram is actually going pretty well lately. The gram is starting to kick it up. We're working on it.
Man, you have come so far.
I know. See, I know.
Don't
the
Chrissy,
gram.
thank you.
Don't reward
Thank
her
you,
for
Chrissy.
saying the gram. Knock it off, Bobby.
How many times have you had to tell her though, Chris, to say the gram?
Oh, I emailed her last week and I was like, what's our Instagram tag number thing?
Handle. Yeah.
Handle.
What's our screen
Yeah.
name?
Oh God. I
I'm
think
getting
she still
better,
has a
I'm getting better.
MySpace page. I really do.
I do. I don't know how to deactivate it. All right, we're getting off topic. All right, my monthly goal is going to be I'm going to deactivate my MySpace. Okay. No, this is good though. So like when we just to like cycle back here, like when we're getting to our daily or weekly or monthly goals, they need to be realistic. They need to be attainable. They need to be fun. Like see how much fun we just had for like the past 10 minutes. Like this is what it's about. We can't be so serious about everything. Like we have to be a little silly sometimes. That's okay. Right? Have fun with a little bit of it. Whatever is not resonating, whatever is hard, let it go. If it's another thing on your to-do list because you have to meditate for 5 minutes, you have to go on a walk for 20 minutes, it's not worth it. Put it aside. Find something that is going to make your heart pitter patter. And that's what it comes down to. And that's what this is all about. It's creating self-care is about doing things that you like to do that are going to make you feel good. And again, to quote Adrienne Mishler, My Yoga with Adrienne, find what feels good. That's what it's about. And it could be a little bit of yoga. It could be a little bit of meditation. It could be coloring. It could be knitting. It could be getting extra sleep. It could be burlesque dancing. You find what feels good. Find what's going to make your heart sing a little bit. So, what is your aha moment? What is like the big takeaway for you tonight? And everybody's is going to be different. What's something that you're like, whoa, this is something new to me. This is something I didn't think about. This is something I want to try. What is the big aha moment for you? Like, Amanda, Christine, you already like identify one like right at the beginning of all of this.
Yeah.
Cool clothes, vibrant clothes.
Yeah. Doing the sensory on my body with the clothes that I wear, embracing that as an opportunity to take care of myself.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share their aha? It was
Yeah,
easy, hard.
I had a huge aha tonight.
Oh gosh, I'm so scared.
No, like I'm being genuine and
Okay,
sincere.
go ahead.
Gosh, give me some credit. I feel like I don't have to wait until tomorrow to begin again.
Begin again now.
It's that was so huge, and I think I'm going to be saying that daily. I'm going to find time in my day to be like, it's okay, we can just begin again now. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. That's so great. Your kids are going to love you for that too, because that gives them the opportunity to begin again now too, right?
It's funny how I will, before this aha moment, allow them to begin it again now, but not myself.
Not you.
Yep.
And we oftentimes talk about this, like we are our own worst critic. The things that we say to ourselves are so horrible. We would never say it to another human being, yet we say it to ourselves and we think it's okay, and it's not okay. We need to catch ourselves and we need to say, would I say this to my student or to my best friend or to my mom or to my spouse or my partner or whomever? And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't be saying it to yourself. And it's hard because we are horrible to our own selves. And I know a lot of you have heard me say this before. If I were to link arms with you and walk around all day and every thought you had, I said it out loud to you, how long before you like literally punched me in the face? You'd be like, stop talking. What are you saying? You're talking, stop it. But that's what you're doing to yourself. And how do we shift it? Just by noticing it. Oh, there's that thought again. I'm noticing it. Okay, let's just begin again. Let's say something kind. Let's reframe it. Offer ourselves that compassion and grace. Yeah, I'm so glad that resonated with you.
Oh yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a huge game changer. So thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome, my love. Anyone else? Your aha?
I think for me, going through that list and just kind of seeing all the different ideas, it's like, I'm the type of, I'll back up. I'm the type of person who likes to do things right the first time. I'm sure no one understands what it's like to be a perfectionist or to kind of have that high expectation of doing everything exactly right. But the beauty of this list is it's just so many ideas. You can just try different things. If it sticks, it sticks. And if it doesn't, do something different and, come back to it if you're interested in it again. I think that's just a good reminder too, that it's like, yeah, just see what happens. Just try it out.
Yeah, and if it becomes work, then it's not the right fit for you. That's not what
Exactly.
this, if it becomes like, oh, it's one more thing. That's what I tried to do, like with, I said before, like with my daily gratitude journal, I was like, I'm going to do a daily gratitude journal. And I was doing it and I was like, I hate this. This is, this is like another thing that I have to do in the morning and at night. And it's like, I don't like to do it. I felt like it was a chore and I just stopped. So like, if it becomes that, then it's like, this is not good for me. I'm just doing it because this is what I'm quote supposed to do. Then you let it go. And that's to your point. And that's why this is all just so different. And that's why I put together and researched all of these options, because different things are going to resonate with different people. So try it out. And if it doesn't work for you, it's okay to say goodbye. That's an act of self-care too, to say this isn't working. Let's try something else or just let it go. So thank you for sharing that. That's so important. Anyone else like to share? Okay, the last part is the most important part, because, you know, I'm here to sort of hold you accountable, but I'm just your gentle and humble guide. You are your own accountability partner. And so you need to commit to yourself. And at the bottom, there is a statement there that says, I commit to making myself a priority, to show myself love, compassion, and kindness by promising to fulfill my action steps. And only you will know if you sign it and commit to that. And when you sign it, it's like a contract to yourself to make sure you're doing those daily, weekly, and monthly self goals. And I would encourage you to tape this or put this someplace that you're going to see it, a bathroom mirror. You're like, for me, I have a walk-in closet, so I put things on my closet mirror, wherever you're going to see it, just to remind yourself like that this is what you've promised yourself to do, and hold yourself accountable. These shifts, even if they seem very small, they add up. And these small shifts over time cause huge waves in your life. When you are family building and just in life in general, it's so much more about the medical component. Oftentimes what is neglected is that mind, that body, that spirit, and it's just all connected. This is an important piece to it. You need to take care of yourself first and foremost, always. And again, thank you all for being here tonight. You just showing up for yourself is the first step in that. If you truly, authentically put your heart and soul into looking at this daily, this weekly, this monthly self-care, you are going to notice that these small shifts are going to add up, and you're just going to feel so much better. You're going to present so much better. You're going to be authentic with yourself, and you're going to like let go of the stuff that doesn't serve you and hold on to the things that do. And it's going to make such a difference. So thank you all for being here. I'm proud of you. I love you all. I believe in all of you. You know, I'm always here for all of you. And we would really appreciate it. I know Chrissy's going to go through like her speech, but we would really appreciate it if this survey that comes out, it's going to pop up, I think, on your screen when you log off, and then I'll send out an email. We would really appreciate your feedback on that survey. It really helps us to know what we're doing well, what we could do better, what we could do to better serve you, because that's what this whole community is about. We just want this to be the most supportive and educational and best community for you as possible. So thank you so much for being here. I am always so honored and so humbled to be a part of your journey. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn. Good night.
Oh my goodness, you're so welcome.
Hey,
Thanks,
everybody.
Lynn. Thanks, Chrissy.
Chrissy's going to share a
Sure.
screen.
I'm going to share my screen because I do the thing, and then like you guys can go to bed because I'm with you on the going to bed situation. So I showed this to you in the beginning, but most of you know where to find us. This is where you can find us. And I'm sure everybody here has some connection with Lynn's where you have our contact information if you want to reach out directly. We're here. Give us your ideas. Tell us how we can help you. We appreciate your feedback. Like Lynn said, our goal is to support you, but also to grow our community, to just expand, to keep supporting more and more people, right? Because people need that, especially right now. So thank you again so much for coming tonight. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, ladies.